Hey guys, alright, so this is our last video in this Getting Started series, and so what we're talking about today is building habits that last. So let's jump right into it. So this is a very common saying, and it's one of my favorites, is that you don't rise to your goals, but you fall to your habits, right? So building habits that last kind of comes down to understanding that motivation's going to come and go, and that habits are ultimately what stays. So if we want long-term results, then we need to put some systems in place so that we can achieve these goals that we have in mind for ourselves, right? So let's first talk about what is the difference between goals versus habits. So goals, think of those like your destination points. That's like the race that you want to run, or the weight loss number that you have in your head that you want to arrive at, or the body weight goal that you have, or how much weight you want to squat on the barbell, right? Those are the goals. That's the destination point that we're looking to achieve at. Now, your habits are going to be the vehicle that gets you there. So, some examples, maybe you have a goal of losing 20 pounds, and how you're going to get there is with the habit of walking daily. If you want to get stronger as your goal, then your habit to get you there is going to be lifting weights 3 times per week. So you can see how, in order to achieve your goal, you're going to have to set up some habits to get you there. Now, when it comes to starting habits, a lot of the times, or even selecting goals, we select things that are far too big. We're not quite thinking on a scale of every single day, right? We might have these grandiose ideas of where we want to be, and all of that is great. Having a vision for where you see yourself down the road is key to sticking to something long term. But having small bite sized pieces that you can do every single day when real life happens is really what's going to make momentum get built, and you have daily winning achievements or weekly winning achievements, right? So most people start too big. Instead of like saying, hey, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, they're like, I'm going to walk 5 miles today. And I'm going to do that every day. But that never happens, right? And maybe it happens for a week, but it's not sustainable because those habits haven't been put in place. It's much easier if we start very small, like this little seed here. Like you plant a seed, then it grows up and it's getting a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Every week it gets a little bit bigger, 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 and then it grows into its plant, right? So if you think of the same as like your habits, you're going to plant a little seed, then you're going to water the seed, you're going to make sure it has sunlight, you're going to make sure it's warm and it's happy, and you're going to do that every day. And as it gets, weeks go and days go, and you keep doing the watering and you keep getting it sun and taking care of it, it's going to grow, but it takes time, right? And it's just little actions like giving it a drink of water every day. So that's like you giving yourself 1 bottle of water every day, or doing one workout per week, those kinds of things. Making those small, small wins that seem like they don't do much, right? In your mind, you're like, this isn't enough to make change. But really, those small wins are what builds the momentum that you need in order to have long lasting achievement or to reach your destination. So, how we can do this is a little thing called habit stacking. This is when you attach a new habit to an existing one. So, an example would be like, every day I eat lunch, right? For the most part, I don't skip lunch. It's something that I do. It's something I've done since forever. Since I was little, I've eaten lunch, right? So what I'm going to do now is I want to attach a 10-minute walk to my lunch. And I'm going to do that after I eat. That way it helps with digestion, keeps me from falling into that like afternoon slump sleep time. And I'm going to walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Super achievable, not overly stressful, not, something that's going to make me sweat and then I have to go back to work type of situation. Just a simple walk. And I'm going to do that after lunch. Or another example could be I have my coffee in the morning and then I'm going to do some stretches. 5-10 minutes of stretching, nothing crazy. You could even do it while you're having your coffee, right? And then another one is you're going to fill your water bottle after you brush your teeth. So having coffee can be a habit. Brushing your teeth, for the most part, all of us have that as a habit, right? That's not something that we skip typically. Um, and so you could fill your water bottle at the same time that you do the teeth brush. That way you're stacking these things that you want to achieve, like drinking more water, or stretching with something that's already a constant in your life. And then that way it becomes something that's a little bit easier because you already have the reminder that's already self-built in, all that good stuff. So habit stacking is a great one. Another tip is to make it easy. You want to set yourself up for success. We don't want to make this overly hard and overly challenging because it needs to be something that you can just do when you're first getting started that isn't extremely life-changing. We all want to change our lives and be this new person by tomorrow at, 2 p.m., but that's not the reality. And we ultimately all know that, right? But in our brains, that can be a hard thing to just, well, I'm going to be the outlier, it's going to be different for me. Well, sorry, probably not. And we just need to set ourselves up for success by understanding that if we make it easy, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not effective or, hard, because it can be a simple task like making sure your food's prepped ahead of time, or keeping healthy snacks visible in your pantry, or laying out clothes. Those are all things that they take effort, they take time, they take you thinking about it and executing it, but really they're a very easy thing to do, right? But your environment is going to matter big time when you're trying to achieve change, trying to achieve new habits, trying to set yourself up for success. If you're in a house that's full of, goldfish and fig bars and, candy bars and kid snacks and stuff, and you tend to reach for that versus the apples, those are environmental things that we need to look at, like, where can I make this easier for myself so that I make good choices that align with what I'm trying to achieve, my goal, my destination. How can I make my habits that are my vehicle to get there, how can I make it easier? Because there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're already going to have to deal with that will try and make it a lot harder. Even though it's already easy, you're going to have people come out for dinner, all that kind of stuff. The life happens situation. So the easier you make your habits, you might be like, this is too easy, I'm like cheating here, or this isn't hard enough. Like, stop trying to make it so hard on yourself. Make it easy, make it something you can do, because guess what? You can stack it more later. You can always, take more onto your plate when you're ready and when you've mastered it. So another thing you want to do is track your wins. Whatever we get measured, we tend to manage. So think of, like, if you have a budget, if you're a budget person with your money, a lot of times you're tracking the dollars and you know where that goes. And when it's measured, it's managed. The same with your body. If you're weighing yourself every day to keep yourself on, course, and being more aware of what you're doing and what your body is responding with, the more things you track, the more it gets managed and the more you can win. Because if you're tracking your workouts, your water, your steps, your protein, you can go, I see here my steps went way down and my weight loss stalled. But last week when I did this many steps, I saw my weight went down a pound. So then you start to make the connection, like, oh, I was more active, duh. More steps equals I burned more calories, which means it resulted in a weight trend that I wanted. Okay? And then once you're tracking and measuring things, and then you've got this proof in the pudding situation happening because you're tracking and measuring everything, you can celebrate when you have consistency. You've got this proof positive that you are doing what you said you wanted to do, and it is working in the trends that you can see. So tracking your wins is a great way to manage and then celebrate when you are consistent. And one thing we really ultimately have to let ourselves off the hook with is that we need to expect imperfections, right? So like this little bowl here that's all broken and has been glued back together, that's fine, right? That's life. Everybody's bowl has been glued back together a billion times, right? We've all had things break, whatever it is in our life. Nobody's perfect. So we're going to expect those imperfections. We're going to expect the things to go wrong, the weeks not to be perfect. We're going to expect that we're going to miss a day. Fine. If we miss 2 in a row, time to get back to it. So I always tell people, don't skip 2 days in a row. Try and, get back into it. Take a day off, then do something the next day. Or if you have to take 2 days in a row, it's like, okay, then by the 3rd day, you're moving and grooving back with what you need to be doing. But just get back to it. Habits aren't built through perfection. That's nothing. We're never going to be coming from a you need to be perfect scenario or mindset. They're just built through repetition. Just like how you train your body with reps, the same for your habits. So what I want you to do is your MJ Strong habit is I want you to choose one habit to focus on, not 5, not gonna do water, gonna track my body weight, going to track my steps, gonna track my protein, gonna track how many times my cat, meows at me. You're not gonna do all that crazy stuff. We're gonna pick 5 things, or excuse me, you're gonna pick one thing, not 5 things. Pick one thing and master it, and then build from there. So you're creating that really small, easy habit, but then it's going to lead to a big result. And once you've mastered it, then you can add another one. So for example, can be, I'm going to get 10,000 steps for 90 days. If you do that and you can check that box saying, I did it every single day for 90 days, that's a pass. You are now a master. Go ahead and add, now I'm going to track my protein for 90 days and see what happens. And then become a master at these small, tiny habits. And you've already 100% beaten out anything that could ever kind of come at you. You've built your armor up, right? With these basic small habits. Okay, so that's going to be the end of our last series video here on building habits that last. And so from now forward, let me get back to my last slide here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so from here, again, you can always reach out to me if you want more one-on-one coaching. Email me at mjstrongstart@gmail.com. Appreciate your time watching this video. I hope you got some nuggets from it that can help you move forward as you get started. And then as you join the channel, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get alerted when we have new videos. Make sure you join the Facebook group. It is women only, so jump in there and I'll get you added and you can get all of the alerts on what's going on and what's happening. And we will build out more playlists are coming soon. But thanks for doing this, getting started. I hope it kind of gets you excited for the route we're going with this channel and that you have some clarity on some stuff. What would I suggest next is going and watching the goal setting, goal getters playlist. And that's talking just strictly about goal setting. It's a great place to get started after this playlist. All right, talk to you guys soon and I'll chat with you later.